Всем привет, всем привет. Продолжаем проходить вампира. Скопался в больнице. Расследование. У нас все. Чтобы найти. А где он вообще? Ладно. Кстати, эти вот друзья должны были выздороветь. Да. Спросить, как у них дела там. Из них должен.
I cannot enter. Good evening, Dr. Strickland. And good evening to you.
Этого я полностью спрашивал.
What can you tell me about... Well, it has always been an honor to work with Dr. Swan. You seem... I'm convinced that this epidemic... Questions remain about... True. Goodbye, Dr. Strickland.
Я уже поговорил, хорошо.
The flu took my dear wife, Emily. I take comfort knowing we'll soon be together again.
Mr. Rainfield, that's no way to talk. You're in good hands here, and we'll be up again soon enough. Now do me a kindness and get some sleep. I'll be back round later.
Your words are kind, the blessings of an angel. You're the sweet, sweet Lady of Mercy.
Good evening, Dr. Reed. It's a pleasure to see you again. You seem surprised. Dr. Swansea has brought me up to speed concerning your recent appointment to Pembroke Hospital.
You're a the lady who saved me that night, before vanishing into thin air. I remember you from the pub with Dr. Swansea.
Indeed. Allow me to introduce myself formally this time. My name is Lady Ashbury. I remember you well, in spite of the brevity of our encounter.
So it seems our Dr. Swansea does indeed have a fascination for creatures of our constitution.
Dr. Swansea is a remarkable man. Dedicated, one might say, obstinate? He spent years compiling our bestiary.
I hope you're more disposed to answer my questions now.
You must have countless questions, but our rather urgent matter first. Swansea has explained. My cover, if you prefer, has been compromised.
Have any of the patients given you trouble?
These poor souls have so little left to live for. I do my best to ease their pain.
The world would be a better place if it were cared for by women like you.
You make me blush. I am simply a necessary evil.
Pardon my boldness, your ladyship, but I have questions concerning this condition we share.
As a newborn, your hunger for answers is rivaled only by your thirst for blood. But the questions need wait.
I'm a scientist. My trade is in the deciphering of mysteries, and I need information to feed my mind.
I will gladly answer every question you have, but first, prove yourself capable of resolving my predicament without eating the culprit.
Dr. Swansea has commissioned me to be your agent in this matter. You could start by explaining what's amiss.
These past insufferable weeks, I've been the victim of extortion. I've made a first payment, but the blackmailer grows greedy. I must refuse his most recent demands.
Who would be so foolish as to threaten you? A kindred spirit.
Even if it were the case, and I highly doubt it, a vampire would have asked for something more valuable than money. My suspicions lean toward a patient, or their family.
If we're dealing with an ordinary criminal, surely you've the means to deal with it yourself, if I may.
As immortal tradition doth dictate, all fangs and hypnotic eyes ablaze, the blood would run like a river. That's what I hope to avoid. Violence has a tendency to spiral out of control.
What are your expectations? Please be precise.
As the newly appointed surgeon of this hospital, you are in an excellent position to ask innocent questions and deftly learn the identity of my blackmailer.
Please continue. Every detail is essential. I'm your man.
My embarrassment in this matter is eclipsed only by my shame at having put the hospital at risk. The threat from our anonymous scoundrel is clear. A list of dates. My visits coinciding with the dates of suspicious patient deaths due to massive blood loss.
I'll take care of it. Do you know where I should start?
If that was the case, I'd settle the matter myself. You could talk to our local gossip, Harriet Jones. Not a pin drops here without her hearing about it.
I'll meet that woman now.
My life, as others know, is in your hands, Dr. Reed. I'm sure of your discretion, but I do fear your powers of persuasion will be put to the test. When this is resolved, I'll be your obligé. I'll answer all questions in regards of your condition.
Much energy for so little result.
On every street corner. The daily routine.
Simpletons, these nurses. Bred with no respect. What is this? Who are you? Get out of my room.
There's no need for alarm, madam. I'm Dr. Reed, the new surgeon.
Preposterous. Dr. Reed, you say? I don't want some bumbling intern. Where's Dr. Swansea?
Please, calm down, madam. I assure you that I am highly qualified. I'm just back from war duty.
How brave. Threatening an old defenseless woman. You know how long I've been a patient here? You've picked the wrong fight. I'm Harriet Jones.
Harriet Jones? Indeed. I've been meaning to have a chat with you. You know what goes on here better than any other patient, I gather.
Oh, better than any patient, nurse or doctor. I've seen so many vile undertakings.
I heard there have been some despicable goings-on. Was it a case of blackmail?
Blackmail? Wait. You're investigating something. This isn't a social call. One of those incompetent cunts slit a poor sod's vein.
If I didn't know better, Miss Jones, I'd be inclined to say you enjoy this type of idle gossip.
God's honest truth, Doctor. It's just the way it is here. Most of these bitches would let you freeze to death before getting you a blanket.
You seem to know more about the goings-on here than anyone else. Beware, Miss Jones, in case suspicion should fall on you.
That's it. Blame the old and infirm. I see those little bitches' greedy little eyes. Just waiting for me to pop off they are.
I assure you, madam, this is not an investigation into a possible medical error.
Debauchery, then? Nurses Crane, Hawkins, Brannigans, whores, all of them. They can't keep their legs shut. I've seen them scratching slutty sores.
Really? Well, if you have irrefutable proof, I'll not have the staff behaving in such a manner here.
This is your business, Doctor, not mine. But I swear one of the nurses is cavorting with some man on hospital hours.
Thank you for your time, Miss Jones. You've given me something to go on. See you on the next round.
Найдите место трупи. Я даже не удивлен. 5 рояль Гарден Холл. Граффити вставляет Торис Флетчер.
The patients and staff might know something. I'll start my investigation with them. Good evening, Nurse Brannigan.
Good evening, Doctor.
Do you know if any of the hospital staff have criminal backgrounds?
The people who work here all come from very different backgrounds, Doctor. Just like the patients.
Have you seen a strange man visiting any of the nurses here?
I've never heard of such a thing, Doctor.
Goodbye, nurse. Call me if you need assistance.
Где это она внизу, что ли? Понял? Слежка. Чтобы активировать чуть. Если горожанин ведет себя подозрительно, его сердце будет по-особому. Смотрев на горожанина, вы разблокируете особые действия. Найдите дортик.
You're sure you don't come back with me?
Nah, I have to see someone at the hospital.
Be careful. You look so bad they may keep you as a patient.
Fuck 'em. I don't like hospitals. Or doctors.
Well then, when you go back to Whitechapel, you may find this useful.
What is it?
A pass for a free medical exam by the best nurse available. Just read it.
I don't read well, but thank you, I guess.
Вот и открылось. Открылось уже. Подбрать громил. Абзац.
He's locked the door behind him. I need to find another way to follow him.
кругу бегать, что ли? Спасибо.
This man has been savagely attacked and dragged to the floor.
I don't want to die here. I want to see the sky, feel the fresh air.
Мы открыли. Ходячий скаль. Шипованный от пальца. Ой, это просто посмотреть, окей. Ручная. Не 5. 5 не крылато покруче будет. Здесь обратно. Строфобия. Вот и все. Что это было? Так. Погодите-ка. О, так-то лучше.
Are you injured, sir?
Help me get out of here. I need to get out.
I'm Dr. Reed, and I'd be glad to help you, but you must calm down first. Please, take a deep breath and tell me your name.
Okay. I'm Oswald Thatcher. Please, I need to get out.
Mr. Thatcher, your friend Newton sent me to help you. Do you remember him?
Yes, I do.
Good. Now leave this place and enjoy the cool night air. It's quite invigorating. I'm sure you'll feel better if you do.
Чего у него головная боль? Боль, хорошо. Иметь в виду. То есть теперь эти двери открыты активно. Окей. Пополнили крошку. Глава вообще тема. И Дикий вампирик такой. Я что-то с моим здоровьем. Так, ну и судя по всему, это тоже актив. В братстве Святого Павла я посоветовал членам нашего клуба с большой осторожностью относиться к, так сказать, ученым. Да, большинство относится к нам дружелюбно и с уважением. Но для членов такого закрытого клуба, как Алон, было бы крайне неумно говорить о наших целях, наших товарищах и наших традициях. Я бы также хотел напомнить о том, что братство достаточно древнее. У него довольно таинственные традиции. Одной из них, по сообщениям информаторов, может быть ритуал под названием изгнание дракона. Позже при определенных условиях члены братства Святого Павла проводят этот ритуал, если находят агрессивного или жадного бессмертного. В чем он заключается, я не знаю. Будет ли он на самом деле? В этом я тоже не уверен. Но мне удалось установить следующее. Каждый представлявший угрозу для Лондона вампир бесследно исчезал после того, как братство проводило против него ритуал изгнания. Сам Фергал Банша был достаточно умен, чтобы не бросать вызов братству. Этот урок должен запомнить каждый из нас. Нельзя допускать, чтобы братство объявило тебя драконом. Закон Аскалона. Лорд Рейдграф, основатель клуба.
I have this thirst for blood.
Так, надо соседнюю еще комнату зачистить. Да, после 16 уровня, которого я вальнул, они вообще как дети кажутся. Мне подсказывает, сейчас будет битва. Крысы резнулись. Так, может, тогда лучше. Так вот. По-моему, чудовище.
What sort of creature is this?
Ничего себе, ты его так быстро
Here's
запнули.
what's left of him. Not a lot to check, but I should anyway.
Если вы больны, если у вас нет денег, неважно кто вы, неважно откуда, обращайтесь за помощью в Дороти. Никакого обмана, никакой платы, никаких вопросов. Просто найдите дом Дариуса Треску. Он.
Some voucher for a free checkup in Whitechapel. What is Nurse Crane up to? I really must find her.
Так, что?
I can't believe I'm doing this.
Ожидал чего именно? Жрать крыс? Или лупить таких зверюк? Не очень такой трудный ты босс. Так, сюда мы вошли. Плитка, что-то плита. Эти воины, ребят. Так, нам надо в кабинет забежать. Хватит нам сделать. А, это просто. Здесь, наверное, головной боли будет пить. Еще нет рецепта. Свой страх и риск. А, этого я убил, все, смотри, он больше не спавнится. Сопротивление стрелковому. Фига он. Балик меня открыла. Чего злые какие-то письки. Ничего у нас. это у нас там убежище.
I have this thirst for blood.
There's more and more of these bloody leeches every night. Aye, but the guards recruit more and more every year.
When did you join the guard? 2 days ago. This is my first patrol. Over there! There's one of them burning!
Ну давай, иди сюда. Что ты будешь делать? Ау. Печаль. Лишнее. Он же вообще не в эту сторону. Подсвечивает-то. Вообще рядом с друг с другом находится дровичок. Воспользоваться.
It's locked.
Don't forget, check every room, every door. Step away, sir.
Best be on your way home.
A leech! This is no place for you, sir.
Линч. Я назвал Линч. Короче, все, встань. Встань.
Oh my God!
Oh my God!
Ну да, конечно. Наверное, патроны и надо все-таки тратить. С другой стороны.
It's locked, all right.
Там мигнуло, да?
It's locked.
Ну, все-таки в те ворота получаются. Хорошо. Белая лондонская погода.
Whitechapel. This neighborhood is linked somehow to the kind Lady Ashbury's blackmail. First, let's find this Petrescu fellow.
Нет ничего. Кто там эти стражники? Опа.
Fuck you all! Fuck it all! Stop it now, Albert! Stop it!
Туда наверх.
I cannot enter.
So litter in the streets, not me.
Are you all right?
The bastard hit the wall next to me. I don't even know if he meant to miss.
If you've been hurt, I can help you. I'm a doctor.
Name's Albert. Remember it. Now bugger off.
Do you know Nurse Dorothy Crane from the Pembroke Hospital? If you know anything about her, I'd appreciate it.
Never heard of her. She's pretty, I'll keep an eye out.
What happened? Did you really steal that man's medication?
Hey, I didn't do anything, it ain't me.
All right. Perhaps the poor drunk just confused you with someone else.
Sod off, mister. You ain't got no clue what's going on here. Bastard was a soldier in the war, so now he's got the right to shoot me.
It's true. I'm not familiar with this part of town. Perhaps you could help me.
I said sod off. Go find yourself another guide.
Нравится.
I found the recruiter you were expecting. He's dead, but he carried a note. The Wet Boot Boys have accepted your application.
I knew it! I told you I was tough enough. I'll be free soon.
Free? You may soon find out that you have simply traded one set of shackles for another.
You're all fancy words, none of which concern me. Go worry about someone else. I'm fine and I have a future here.
Do you need assistance?
Please. Feeling tired these days.
There you go. Let's hope nobody steals it from you.
Very funny.
Goodbye, young man.
The wet boots will be proud of me. Oh, boy. Alley reeking worse than a week-old lavvy.
What? Shooting a boy in the middle of the street. Not the best thing to do, wouldn't you say?
What? You saw what happened? Who are you?
I'm Dr. Reed, and I'd like to ask you a few questions, if you promise me to set your gun aside.
No. Look, I'm not a violent man. I'm Benjamin Palmer, doctor. And no one can help me. Not even you.
Do you know Nurse Dorothy Crane from the Pembroke Hospital? Have you heard anything?
It's funny, I've been searching for her too. I need some pills. But the woman is a phantom, if you ask me.
Really? And why is that?
Word is she ain't real. She's a cover for some doctor who runs an illegal dispensary for migrants.
What can you tell me about this place?
Nothing to say, really. This is where I used to live, and this is where I live now.
You don't have anywhere to go? No family that would welcome you?
Not since the death of my wife, Albert's mother. She was sick, you see. Long before the flu and all this shit.
You mean you used to have a better life?
Yeah, I had a wife, a home, and a job. I even used to have a name. And now I'm just Ben. Ben the Tramp.
От мигрени тоже рецептик. Где бы его достать только?
Perhaps you could focus.
I'm sick, broken. My son just stole my pills. Everything's coming up roses.
Whatever the boy...
I swear I didn't want to hit him. It's just that I'm sick in the head, you see, and the boy just failed me last nerve.
What is it, Benjamin? It was the war, wasn't it? Your nerves are shot, aren't they? I need some answers, Private. From one soldier to another.
The doctors called me a liar. A coward. Put me in a straitjacket, locked me up. Finally, they sent me back to the front lines with a handful of tablets.
It's a pity that doctors still practice such barbaric methods. It's a dishonor to our profession.
Now only the pills stop me thinking about this shit. To not hear the explosions. I'm even scared of the dark these days.
A gun, alcohol, and a bad temper make a terrible cocktail, sir. Goodbye for now.
When science fails you, this elixir will give you faith again. Its effectiveness has been...
Good evening, miss.
Good evening, sir. Are you interested in a miraculous cure for this unknown and deadly epidemic?
Actually, I am.
Then you have come to the right place. The famous Swanborough cordial is all you need to help keep you in perfect health.
Oh, really? Why didn't I hear about it during my studies? I'm Jonathan Reed, by the way. Dr. Jonathan Reed.
Ah, my brother has spoken of your research, sir. I'm Loretta Swanborough, and it's always a pleasure to meet a fellow healer.
I'd like to see what kind of medicine you're selling.
Good evening.
Do you know Nurse Dorothy Crane from the Pembroke Hospital? I'd like to know more about her.
I don't like to talk about competition.
Competition, you say?
Never met her, but it seems she provides some sort of medical care to the poor. The whole thing has to be some sort of scam, if you ask me.
Tell me, who intrigues you most in Whitechapel?
The region itself is something to see, but I would say Camellia the mute florist who gives away her flowers.
What do you think of the locals?
Most of them are afraid or desperate. They all come to me eventually for my remedy.
Is there anyone I should avoid?
Cadogan Bates, without a doubt. The bloody bastard remorselessly exploits poor migrants as soon as they get here.
Goodbye, Miss Swan.
The Swanborough cordial can be the answer to all your problems. As long as you have the money.
It's locked, all right.
A lot of people are talking about this Colossus I live.
Good evening, sir. Do you remember me?
If you're here for a reward, you'll be sorely disappointed. But I'll gladly shake the hand of a fellow countryman.
I'm not here for a bounty. I'm a doctor. Dr. Reed from the Pembroke.
A doctor? In Whitechapel? What an opportunity. My name's Bates. Cadogan Bates.
Do you require assistance, Mr. Bates?
Not me, but your skills could help a lot of people around here. That would help my business, because I say, a live tenant's a paying tenant.
Да, вон я вчера сидел 5 часов, хреначил меня.
Since I took an oath to help people, can I be of assistance?
Well, seen better days, that's for sure. But it was bound to happen with all these refugees about.
Да, такая легкая игрушка. Ничего пока сложного я вообще не увидел.
Infecting you is probably the last thing on these people's minds. Take this, in any case.
What? You give me this for free? Don't have a clue about this place, do you?
I'm looking for Dorothy Crane. She's...
Ща посмотрим. Да блин, там на максималках уже все.
The nurse. What can you tell me about her?
Dorothy Crane, bless her soul. I really should thank her someday.
Я видел, да, тоже ты проходил ее.
Has she treated you?
No. When I need a checkup, I'd go to a bloody doctor, not some back alley.
Не стал заходить, чтобы не спойлерить себе.
You seem to have recovered well since your attack. Do you ever think about what happened to you?
Not much. It was a fucking nightmare. Savages, absolute bloody savages. Their appearance. Jesus. It made me want to puke.
You'd better not come back here. I won't be
Ну
around.
а чё, неинтересно же играть?
I want to know everything about the recent violence, Cadogan. And I want the truth.
Well, rent may be a bit high, and yeah, I've had to evict a few people. But that's business, isn't it?
Ладно бы, если еще разные какие-то вариации были прохождения. Тогда одно дело.
I don't believe even you deserve such a cruel fate, though you have tested my patience beyond its limit.
Glad to hear. Nice to know there's another civilized individual in these parts. Not like those bloody savages.
Я, кстати, еще никого не схавал.
Goodbye, Mr. Bates. Mr. Bates. Goodbye,
Mr. Отстань от меня, отстань. Привязался.
What do you want? Leave me alone.
Good evening, sir. I'm Dr. Reed. I'm looking for Nurse Dorothy Crane.
There is no Dorothy Crane here. Now, goodbye.
I'm afraid this medical leaflet says the opposite, sir.
Really? Well, I'm afraid I'm going to close this door right now. Go bother someone else, Mr. Doctor.
Кстати,
to enter that house, I must discover who this man really is. Maybe I could start by observing what he's up to.
Хит. Тоже не знаю, зачем их столько. Да вон тут пила есть вообще нормальная. Она типа вампирика. Что тут? Кусаешь этой пилой, рубашь и все. Вон Дороти Крейн.
I cannot enter. No one's there.
A lot of people are talking about this.
Так, куда идти? Закрыто. А, не, вон она.
A strange man was at the door with a pass for our medical facility. I refused him entry.
Darius, how could you know he didn't need our help?
His clothes were too finely tailored to be for Whitechapel.
Perhaps just a friend of that stray poet who is always about.
Richard
Давай, удачи тебе.
Not of the same cloth, this man. I suspect some machination from that journalist.
Clayton Darby. Is he still asking questions?
Yes. I saw him drifting around St. Mary's Church. I swear he is tracking me just downwind.
It's locked. I must talk to that journalist or the poet. They must know about Darius. Nearby the church they just mentioned.
You distribute flowers in this house.
Welcome, sir. Please take a browse of my wares.
I'm Dr. Reed. I would like to ask you a few questions, if you don't mind.
Doctor? Interesting. I'm Barrett Lewis. Usually I don't have time to waste with talk, but at this hour of the night I can hardly refuse.
Right then. Show me what you have.
Так, рукояточки. Монеток. Мало. 91. Правильно. 31 штуку продадим. Я вот только помню, какую мне надо. Крошечную часть, рукоять. И обычно. Ой, чуть не продал.
Fancy buying something, sir?
You never lose your focus, do you? Have you heard of a nurse called Dorothy Crane?
Nurse Crane? So the bitch really is a nurse, then? Always thought she was just some crafty foreigner, that one.
Yes, she's a nurse, and quite a good one. What did she do to gain such notoriety?
Dorothy Crane ain't even a real name. Something like Dorothea Craniu. Something like that. Came to England fleeing the war, I was told.
That doesn't explain why she irritates you so much.
Your precious Nurse Crane gives away medical supplies and prescriptions for free. I offered to sell it for a fair cut, but no. Miss Crane wanted to play the quiet saint.
How is business around here?
Business? I had no business. Between this racket, theft, and customers getting scared, I'm losing money every day.
I see. Sounds like you blame someone in particular for your situation.
It's no secret Joe Peterson spends his time harassing merchants. But with me, he's trying to put me out of business once and for all.
As a merchant, you see Whitechapel every day. Have you noticed anything out of the ordinary recently?
Well, you mean besides the epidemic, the war, and all the usual crap? As long as I can remember, this part of town has been a bottomless pit, and no sign of the bottom yet.
Violence is increasing in the borough.
Yeah. A few nights ago, some blokes jumped me. Came out of one of the condemned workshops. Fever, madness, something like that.
Where did this happen? Why did you go there?
In the closed workshops nearby. I worked there as an apprentice in better days. Now I only go to find trinkets or tools. Too bad I was mugged, though. There was good money in that little box of loot I lost.
Have you been hurt?
No, but that's only because I ran like hell. Those men were raving lunatics, I tell you. Not even able to speak anymore, just screaming.
Понятно, это скали у нас. Все.
Goodbye for now, Mr. Lewis. Excuse me, sir. I have a few questions for you.
Another journalist? I didn't answer the first one, so piss off!
I'm not a journalist, I'm a doctor.
A doctor, you say? It's quite a rare breed in this part of town.
Really? But still, here I am. Dr. Jonathan Reed, at your service.
I'm Joe Peterson to some, but Colossus Joe to most. And I don't remember asking for your service, sir.
Have you heard of a nurse named Dorothy Crane? She's a colleague of mine, and is supposed to live around here.
Dorothy Crane? Yeah, I know her. One of the few good souls who dare to help the sick around here.
Could you please tell me more about her?
She's a nice girl. Tries to help the migrants. I offered to give her a hand, but she said my reputation would attract too much attention.
Just твоя репутация, чувак.
How did you become the local bully everyone is afraid of, Joe?
There's no pride in roughing up poor bastards. But this is the only job I've found. And it pays well, too.
A job? So you're racketeering for someone else?
I got enlisted by the Wet Boot Boys, a gang from the docks. I'm their muscle for their dirty work.
You are a criminal who endorses criminal activity. The least you could do is stop hiding behind this pretense.
I don't care what you think, sir. I do what I have to do for my own reasons, and that's that.
I'm not sure Mr. Lewis would agree with your by all means necessary philosophy, sir.
Oh, do you really think he's the poor victim here? Barrett can be as sneaky as anyone. Long ago, I even called the bastard my best friend.
According to you, physicians are scarce in this part of town.
Not familiar with this neighborhood, are you? I guess your fancy colleagues are too afraid of being stabbed in the back.
This part of town does have quite a reputation. Would you say it's justified?
Totally. Look at me, for instance. I always look my opponent in the eye before knocking him out.
May I ask what you do around here?
I do whatever I want, and sometimes even more.
Goodbye, Mr.
Подожди.
Joe, please, I don't have your money.
Come on, Barrett, you know the...
Fancy buying something, sir?
You never lose your folk. Joe Peterson. He's the villain here, isn't he? But you seem to know each other.
I'd known Joe for years. I saw him box once or twice. He was a friend then. But these days, he's just another thug.
What can you tell me about Mr. Peterson? Besides his behavior toward you, obviously.
Colossus Joe was a decent boxer, good one even. But after his wife passed away, he found every excuse to stop training. Just wanted to pick fights with everyone.
Taking out your anger on others is nothing but cowardice. And Colossi are quite famous for tumbling down.
We've all had some rough times, ain't we? But most of us don't use our fists to see us through.
What can you tell me about Mr. Peterson? Besides his behavior toward you, obviously.
Colossus Joe was a decent boxer, good one even.
Taking out your anger...
We've all had some rough...
And no one has ever stood up?
Nobody would be fool enough to stand...
Goodbye for now.
Давай, ясно. Потренируюсь, так сказать.
Hello, young man. I'm Dr. Reed, and I would like to ask you a few questions. May I enter, please?
Sorry, no, sir. My father does not like people entering our house, you see.
Your father is worried about you, boy. He asked me to look for you.
So my father actually worries about me then? Okay then. Come on in. I'm Harry, by the way.
Убедил его.
My dreams are soaked with gloom. Is there only pain and suffering in this world?
It's locked.
Где же, интересно, ключи-то брать? Рационально охотник. Если вы заподозрили кого-то в том, что он вампир, не предпринимайте самостоятельных попыток его убить. У вас нет шанса. Письмо с отказом. Мой долг сообщить вам о том, что ваша просьба принять вас на работу в доке была отклонена. Я благодарен вам за то, что вы потратили время и сложность вашей ситуации, рассказали о том, что у вас болен сын и что была ваша дорогая жена. Долг состоит также в том, чтобы разъяснять правила нашей компании. Они явно запрещают брать на работу бывших преступников и осужденных. Ваши связи с скандально известными мокрыми ботинками не укрылись от внимания. Тяжелые времена, сэр, компания Финч и Харпер. Уверена, прежде всего, вознаграждать кандидатов, прошедших небольшую проверку, которую мы устраиваем с искателем. Я от всей души сочувствую вам, да не оставит Бог вас и искренне ваш Р.Д. Харпер. Краска огромели, хорошо.
So, may I ask you a few questions?
I'm not bothered. What could be worse?
Do you know Nurse Dorothy Crane from the Pembroke Hospital? I'd like to know more about her.
Yes, I know her. She came here to examine me when I was very sick. She said I should go out more.
How do you feel?
I'm fine. I mean, it's not easy every day, but I'm fine. I'm just tired of being sick all the time. If only I could be tough like... well, you know.
Speaking of which, what can you tell me about your father?
My father is an idiot who makes idiot things. That's all I have to say.
Forgive my bluntness, young man, but you don't seem happy living in Whitechapel.
Why should I? I never wanted to come here in the first place. It was my father's decision. And look around you. Does this look like a nice place to live?
You have a roof over your head, a place to call home. Many people here are not as lucky, you know.
That's exactly what my father says. Harry, you should be grateful for what you've got. But I wasn't even consulted when we moved here.
If life here is so terrible for you, why don't you just leave this place? Have you ever spoken to your father about it?
I don't go outside. It terrifies me so. I went outside once without my father noticing and I saw terrible things. Bloody and frightening things.
So that's why you stay at home all day? For fear of the epidemic?
I'm not afraid of disease or death, Dr. Reed. It's the living I'm afraid of.
Would it ease tensions with your father if he got an honest job? Because he tried, you know.
I can't say. I'd be glad if he dropped his thuggish activities. But I'm not sure it would be enough.
Why is that?
Sometimes I suspect it's me, Dr. Reed. Or it's this life. It's like I can't find my place.
Your father and Mr. Lewis used to be good friends. What happened, Harry?
I was young then. I don't remember Mr. Lewis ever coming back again after my mother died. Or was it after my father started bullying him? I don't know.
Have you tried speaking to Mr. Lewis about it?
I don't go out often, but yes. And he scolded me and told me to leave him alone. I guess my father frightens him too much.
But you are not responsible for your father's actions.
Am I not? Dad always says that he joined that gang for my safety. So if I wasn't born, people wouldn't be worrying about Colossus Joe.
Бред какой-то. Кстати.
Do you need any medical help, young man?
Yes, I do. I feel so tired. I don't know if it's the epidemic, but everything seems so hard.
You'll feel better with this. But you need to get a grip, young man. Medication alone won't cure melancholia.
I'm not sure I'm happy with the idea of living long in a world like this. But I thank you for your concern, sir.
Goodbye, young man. Take care of yourself.
Надо будет еще наварить.
Even my dreams are soaked with gloom.
Так. В принципе, его можно сожрать. Но ничего такого даже не.
Is there only pain and suffering in this world?
You again?
Harry doesn't seem happy living in Whitechapel. Why did you make him come here?
I've always put my son's interests above everything else, whatever he may think. Our house is small but affordable. The walls are thin, but the door is solid.
You really love your son, don't you, Mr. Peterson?
He's my pride and joy. Even if he hates me for the choices I make and pushes me buttons more than he should.
Do you have any regrets?
Only one. Not to have my beloved wife by my side. She died when Harry was little. My sweet Jane. She gave the boy confidence.
Since the criminal nature of your job means you could be arrested, are you not afraid of what would happen to your boy if you were?
No one will ever take my son away from me. If that ever occurred, I'd hunt the bastard down and rip off his head with my bare hands.
Why do you keep on working for the gang, Joe? You know it doesn't suit you.
It's true, I hate this job. And I know I made some bad choices, but I'm a wet boot boy now. And people won't forget it.
You could leave tomorrow. Start another life in another town.
That's easy for you to say, Doctor. We are poor. My son's weak. And there's no way he'll endure another disappointment.
Goodbye, mister.
Так, у этого... Что не появился?
You never... What do you know of Harry Peterson? The boy seems so fragile. Not like his father at all.
Harry's a good boy, but he spends most of his time complaining. He's had it tough, all right, but he needs to grow a pair.
What troubles him exactly?
Well, despite being his father's son, almost everything, I think. He never wanted to come to Whitechapel in the first place. Hates this place more than most of us.
Goodbye for now.
Я дойду уже. Еще кто?
Don't be shy, handsome. What can Christina do for you?
I'm not looking for what you're selling. But I'd like to ask you a few questions, if I may. I'm a doctor. Dr. Reed.
All right then, but be quick. Though I usually get paid when I open my mouth.
Do you know Nurse Dorothy Crane from the Pembroke Hospital? Anything you can tell me about her would be helpful.
I don't know her, but I know her name is Dorothea Crăciunescu. She came from Romania like me and many others.
You seem to respect her.
Dorothea helps the sick people of Whitechapel. Everyone should respect that.
Christina, have you been examined? The epidemic is spreading fast in London, and you could be exposed, or expose others.
I don't like doctors or hospitals, but I don't like you asking questions.
You can put your own life in danger, that's your decision. But what about your clients? If you're contaminated, you will put them in danger too.
And you think that would worry me? If you knew the men I deal with, their health would not be what you'd worry about.
Considering your line of work, I assure you it is only a matter of time before you have health issues.
If it is going to happen, it will happen. Right now, I need money. That's what's important.
Они все, может быть.
Christina.
Понятно, это дело тоски.
Tell me about yourself.
Are you joking with me? People don't usually come to see me for conversation.
I have no interest in your work. I am, however, curious as to what led you into this career.
Short story. The war, exile, and England. This country is not especially welcoming. I've been refused many jobs because of where I am from. I had few options left.
Christina Попа.
I always thought I was the master of my own fate. But now I know we don't always have control over our lives. I don't judge you.
You know, this money is not only for me. I have good reasons to need this money quickly. But it is not your concern, Doctor.
Так, у нее тоже переутомление. Совсем плохо.
Goodbye, miss. Take care.
Пойти сейчас налево. Это здесь? А, вот. Это же убежище, правильно? По идее, должно быть убежище. Понятно. Вот так бы сразу. Так, теперь надо посмотреть. Восстановление, мигрень, восстановление. Утомление, бронхит. Головная боль. Что я пока опыт распределять? Надо, чтобы эти чушки выздоровели. Головной боли и мигрени надо. Маркер убрать. Здесь как-то белому.
Better go home, sir. How die!
Свинцовое грузило, образец разбавленной густой крови. дверь. Ух ты. Интересно, где она? Коробка-то это. Зон. Теневое. Теневую атаку. Вот, опять какая-то. Разлился, конец. Славно. Гонить вас тут сколько? Подраться немножко, то есть разговоры, то разговоры. Так, ну она вот у этого. Всего там. Что-то я так и не понял, где эта коробка.
This could be the box Lewis thought he lost. There's a letter inside.
Так, где Мне нелегко говорить это, но я буду откровенен. Дальше так продолжаться не может. По крайней мере, я больше не могу. Если Джо про нас узнает, что жена и лучший друг, ты его убьет, а потом он убьет тебя. Нам было хорошо вместе, давай на чисто. Я никогда не стану Джейн Льюис. Ты это знаешь, и я тоже. Поэтому я разрываю наши отношения прямо здесь сейчас. Согласен, то когда-нибудь мы снова сможем быть счастливы. Ты, Джо и я. И так сохраним самую важную часть нашей истории. А пока я надеюсь, что ты простишь меня. Все хорошо. Джейн Питерсон.
A love letter from Joe Peterson's wife addressed to Barrett Lewis. Who should I give it to, I wonder?
Решить, как поступить с коробок. Кому ее отдать? Не знаю. Этот чувак точно убьет.
I cannot enter.
Peace of mind. Can't you just look the other way this week, Joe? Come on, we can sort it out, right? It's not my call, Barrett. You pay one way or another. Please. You again?
I think the documents in this box could be of some interest to you.
Really? Where'd you get it?
I found it in an abandoned building nearby. I thought you might want to keep these letters.
Let me see. Ah, letters about my boy. Thank you, sir.
You do not appear surprised or pained by this.
Surprised about what? Harry's my son, I'm his father, and that's all there is to know, don't you think?
Yes, I suppose you're right.
Here's a little something for your trouble. And to remind you to keep your mouth shut about all this.
И все.
Goodbye, Mr. Peter.
Так вот, переутомление. Утомление, где она была-то? Ну, она ушла.
Pay me a bottle and I'll be nasty.
Good evening, Christina.
Change your mind, Mr. Reed?
Do you need any assistance, Miss Popper?
It depends on the price of your medicine.
I am shocked that you would think I am that sort of man.
Forgive my suspicion. I'm so used to liars with good manners. Thank you, sir.
Да, не за что.
Goodbye, miss. Take care of yourself as best you can.
Так что же еще достоял? А, вон они.
Excuse me, sir. Are you familiar with this part of...
Sorry, I'm new to Whitechapel. But perhaps you could help me since you're a journalist. My name is Jonathan Reed.
Dr. Reed, the famous surgeon. I'll gladly help if I'm able, sir.
What is a journalist doing in this borough after sunset?
He goes where none of his colleagues would dare to go, to inform the country.
So you risk your life to reveal the truth. I saw many reporters do the same during the war.
Whitechapel is the crucible of so many untold stories and tragedies. I want people to know them.
That's quite honorable of you. But is the public interested?
Not at all, sir. And that's why I'm an independent journalist, hoping to sell some stories.
Why are the newspapers keeping silent about the Spanish influenza? It's as though none of you care.
There's a war going on. People shouldn't be demoralized by news of deadly diseases.
It's a disgrace. People are left to die alone. No one is properly informed of the risks.
These are bad times indeed. So much for the glorious British Empire.
Have you any idea of the danger you face in these streets at night?
I've had to run and hide more than once from frenzied mobs incensed by the fever. Do you think the flu is really responsible for this, Doctor?
I'm convinced there is more at work here than a simple epidemic.
Really? To be honest, I could say the same. Some of the sick I saw or heard of. My God, what happened to them?
Christina Popper claims she sells her body because she can't find any other work. Do you believe her?
Of course I do. Her story is exactly what I want my readers to understand. We live in an intolerant and divided nation.
Do you think things will ever change, Mr. Darby?
I believe the situation can only improve. And now that women can vote, I'm convinced things will change.
I heard you're investigating an underground medical dispensary in Whitechapel. What do you know about it?
Not much, I'm afraid. They are wary of strangers, and I'm not really an acquaintance of theirs. Why do you care?
It's confidential. Speaking as a doctor, I'm sure you understand.
Are you sure you're not just concerned about the repercussions that a scandal involving a certain Nurse Crane from the Pembroke Hospital would bring?
Without a doubt, you are a damn fine journalist, Mr. Darby. What do you know of her accomplice, a man named Darius?
I don't know much about the man. He's very cautious, never goes out, doesn't seem to have any friends or family.
He has no relatives at all?
No. Except for that strange man, a poet named Richard Nethercott, who sometimes comes by. Darius would never let him in.
Where can I find this Mr. Nethercott?
He spends most of his time lurking around Whitechapel, talking to himself or declaring verses. These days, you can usually find him behind the church.
He never goes out?
No. A few days ago, he unexpectedly did. I followed him, but it was just a ruse to keep me away from his house.
Really? How do you know?
He went to the nearest mailbox, but just before posting his letter, he ripped it up and threw it away.
Goodbye, Mr.
Так, здесь что-то светилось. Понятно. Хочу пока туда идти. Понять. В принципе, можно. Воу-воу-воу. 10-й. Не убили меня. Здесь все уже, конец уже. Как я понимаю. Так, там лежал, точнее. Лежала. Здесь тоже все закрыто. Хорошо.
Morbidity can breathe its own beauty and grace. Whitechapel is not just a seat of desertion and despair.
Спасибо за то, что прислали вам наш сборник стихов «Песни сломленного города». Нашли его интересным. Это же мы вам ответили первый раз, когда его получили. Вы должны понять, что в это страшное время для нашей страны публикация данной книги была бы совершенно неуместной. Поскольку вы отказываетесь менять название и требуете, чтобы работу напечатали либо в полном объеме, либо вообще не публиковали, то мы решили выбрать второй вариант.
Good evening, sir. I'm Dr. Reed.
I would like to please be my guest. Although I may not be the best informant regarding this part of town, my words speak about that which the eyes cannot see.
Really? Are you an artist of some kind?
I'm a poet, sir. Richard Nethercott, at your service.
Tell me, Mr. Nethercott, why seek inspiration in Whitechapel?
The place is not beautiful per se, but how to explain it? Stirring and challenging.
Do you not think it a little morbid?
On the contrary, sir. Whitechapel is full of life, full of beauty. Just like my dear muse, the wonderful Camellia.
What can you tell me about Camellia?
Not much. And that's the beauty of it. She can't speak, you know. She's a locked mystery who exhales kindness and sweetness.
Camellia.
And have you ever tried to learn more about her? Where she lives, how she survives, whom she may know?
Maybe I prefer she remains an enigma. Reality can be so dull, don't you think?
Perhaps you're just afraid to find out the truth about your muse.
One day, perhaps, I'll ask her to come with me. But will she still be my wild flower of Whitechapel if she moves uptown?
In what way, exactly?
The struggle by gaslight, the barren smiles and the added hunger under the rain.
If you say so.
Such vibrant antagonism and vivid paradox. The stripped humanity raged across each street.
Vivid, of course, yes. And what about the poignant distress?
Oh yes, the poignant distress. You see what I mean, don't you? That's what I want to write about, and that's what Whitechapel is made of.
You don't really make a living from your scribblings, do you, Richard?
No, sir, I don't. I work so hard. I put all my time, my energy, my devotion into the precise carving of words.
Still, you don't seem to suffer from poverty.
With thanks to my parents, actually. I'm afraid I would not be able to live on my own without their help.
You seem embarrassed.
Someday I hope to proudly offer my first publication to my parents. Until that day, I'll remain the failure of a son they have to support.
Tell me,
the place is not beautiful per...
Are you aware that your life could be in danger in this part of town?
But this is where I must be to feel the real beat of the city. I had to come, see it for myself, alone.
I understand your need for solitude, but it's not safe around here.
I don't care. I don't have many friends, Doctor, and my family despises me.
If some misfortune came upon you, who would be here to help you?
Well, you, for a start, my dear Doctor.
May I ask what you're doing at this hour of night, sir? Do you live here?
Not at all. I'm just enjoying the pleasure of a quiet walk. Though night talks are always preferable, if you ask me. Especially with strangers.
Do you need medical attention, sir?
It may be wise to let you prescribe me something. I don't feel like I should.
I understand your appetite for words and macabre beauty, sir. But you should be more careful.
The nutrition of my mind is more important than my physical health. But I appreciate your concern, sir.
3000 опыта можно.
What are your thoughts on the terrible situation in this city?
Terrible, you say? No. Of course, the death of so many innocents is a tragedy. But the scourge has not been all bad for the city. Oh, no, sir.
What are you talking about?
Do you remember London before the flu? Noisy, cacophonic, quiet nowhere to be found. And now, listen to this oddly peaceful silence.
Peaceful? That's quite an unusual way to speak about the epidemic. And very inappropriate, I must say.
Most people fail to understand my perspective. I don't blame them. But how could I call myself a
May I ask what you're doing at this hour of night?
Not at all. I'm just enjoying...
If you say so. But as a physician in a time...
Thank you, Doctor. But we both...
But are you not a...
Oh, why should I?
I'll leave you alone. Good evening.
And good evening.
May I ask you a few questions about the district?
Extraordinary part of town, is it not? I'll be glad to help you, if I can.
I'm looking for Dorothy Crane, a nurse who lives in this vicinity.
Dorothy Crane. Oh, I love the name. The Crane of Whitechapel. Sounds very mysterious. But, sorry, no, never heard of her.
What can you tell me about an old man called Darius?
Darius Petrescu? Yes, I know him. At first, I thought he was only a small publisher. I invited him to publish my work, but his reaction was pretty clear.
Not interested in your talent?
Darius is an old political activist who takes delight in printing tracts and lampoons. Those communist activities only require mediocre writing skills.
I'll leave you.
Спасибо, чё.
Good evening, miss. I'm Dr. Reed. I know what you're thinking. A tall stranger who meets a girl in the street at night. It reeks of the penny dreadfuls. But I mean you no harm, truly. I know you understand what I'm saying. Your silence has nothing to do with you being mute, does it?
Даже вампир читать не умеет мысли.
Tell me about Richard Nethercott. I understand he is quite fond of you, Camellia.
Подожди, это не получилось.
Very well.
Что-то она гипнозу не поддается. Волна несложная ситуация, я знаю, что могу показаться эгоистом, дураком. Ведь вы живете в стране, где идет война, но в Англии тоже идет война с бедностью, справедливостью. Война, в которой я намереваюсь участвовать, несмотря на свой преклонный возраст. Почему я пишу вам сегодня? В Румынию я не вернусь. Означает, что, вероятно, я вас больше не увижу. Простите меня, милый, ведь вы уже взрослые и вы дети.
The content of Darius' letter to his children could give me more leverage to enter. Darius is a bit less of a mystery now. It should not be that difficult to incite him to let me in.
Зачем это, да?
You are...
Forgive my interruption.
Do not apologize, my son. Father Tobias...
I am Dr. Jonathan Reed.
A scientist? You are much more like...
Have you any friends?
No. But I have a disciple I see as my son. He is so devoted. I sent him to preach the good word in the heart of this corrupted city.
You sent him on some preaching crusade during the epidemic.
As a true believer, Samuel will fear no evil while he walks through the valley.
Where did you send him?
I sent Samuel to the Stonebridge Cemetery.
What do you mean when you say that I am more lost than you thought?
All scientists are entangled in a world of
Quite a judgmental opinion, if you ask me. But what do I know? Blinded by science as I am.
But you are seeking answers, aren't you?
Well, I suppose I can spare a few minutes listening to you.
As a doctor, you must be aware of the decimating epidemic. But
what do you mean?
The beast is finally revealing itself, corrupting the flesh and the heart of men. With my own eyes I have seen them, those minions from the abyss.
Really? And what would be your answer to this biblical threat?
We must fight the disease before this legion outnumbers us. But not with scalpels and microscopes. No.
What is left then?
Cleansing fire.
Tell me, Tobias, what exactly is your plan concerning the cleansing of this city?
God will recognize his own. More than once this city has risen from the ashes, hardened and purified by the flames.
Fire is just the instinctive answer of a caveman facing something he does not understand. This is the 20th century.
Your lack of faith is predictable. But my task is to convince rational minds like yours to see the light.
You're mad.
My son, if you've...
Joseph,
Vicar Larrabee of St. Mary's Church, while he continues preaching...
Do you know Nurse Dorothy Crane from the Pembroke Hospital? I'd like to know more about her.
I don't like the liberal ideas of nurses, but I especially abhor that Nurse Crane you mentioned.
Why do you hate Nurse Crane more than other nurses?
Before coming to London, she was a member of the communist resistance in her country. That's what happens when you let a woman get involved in politics.
So you're not exactly a fan of Florence Nightingale's work. But nurses are essential for modern healthcare.
Nuns should be the only women allowed to take care of male patients. It's obvious only they have the necessary moral fiber.
Так, ты здоров, все.
I have...
Пробраться в дом Дариуса.
Evening.
I'm looking for Dorothy.
Dorothy?
Goodbye, Mr.
Так, маленький перерывчик.
people are talking about this colossus. Perhaps I should look into it. Maybe it's time to see if this Christina is still working nearby. Distribute flowers at this time of night. This district seems to get uglier every year.
Продолжаем.
Mr. Petrescu, just 1 minute, please.
You again? Go away.
Sir, wait. Stop this nonsense. I know Nurse Crane is here. Shall we speak man to man, you and I?
All right. Speak up.
Don't you see we're on the same side? We fight to help the poor, sick, and abandoned.
I'm nothing like you, Mr. Doctor.
Yes, you are. You too believe in providing medical care without charge. You know what we have to sacrifice to make the world a better place.
I have to admit your words have conviction. All right, I'll let you see, Dorothea. Don't make me regret this, though.
Даже гипноз не потребовался. Сначала обязательно надо все.
It's locked, all right.
С помощью чего их взламывать? Открывать я даже не знаю.
If you want to talk to Dorothea, you must go across the courtyard and take the stairs.
We've not been formally introduced. May I ask your name and occupation, sir?
I am Darius Petrescu. I'm here to keep snitches and spies away from Dorothea. And I also run this little print shop.
I know you fought for your country when it was occupied, Darius. Tell me more about it.
I know my days are numbered, and I know I won't see my homeland again. But I fought for Romania all my life, and I will until my last breath.
But Romania escaped the grasp of the Austro-Hungarian Empire. It's a free country again.
But it's not the country I fought for. My homeland is not appeased, Doctor. And I still see a dark future ahead for my people.
How did you meet Nurse Crane, Darius? Why does she trust you?
I'm her oldest friend in England. Dorothea and I share many ideas about this country and about the country we left.
You mean occupied Romania, don't you? Even if not directly, I fought against your enemies.
Really? Then perhaps you have more in common with Dorothea than meets the eye, Dr. Reed.
Do you have any family left, Mr. Petrescu? Children or grandchildren?
Who knows? I have abandoned my people for so long, they might as well be dead. As dead as I am for them, I suppose.
This war won't last forever. Did you ever think of returning to your country now it's free?
No. I have taught strength and determination to my sons and daughters. I'm an old, dying man who only has memories of better times to cherish.
Don't be embarrassed, sir. If you must know, my own father disappeared many years ago, and I forgave him.
It's quite awkward to talk about our families like this, but thank you, Dr. Reed. I appreciate your trust.
So Dorothy's real name is not Crane?
Like myself and many people in this area. Dorothea is from occupied Romania. That's all you need to know.
She seems important to the community.
More than you can imagine. The West End does not want to hear of Whitechapel's misery. Dorothea is one of the few doing something about it.
Did you refuse to publish Richard Nethercott's previous works, Darius?
Yes. His manuscript is as pompous as he is starched. Now there's a man who loves the sound of his own voice.
You could have told him so.
As a great writer recently said, politeness is the most acceptable hypocrisy.
Goodbye.
Всего доброго. Так вот. Бегать. Что они тут совсем все больные. Почему у этого интересно? Нормальные. Просвечиваются все. смерти моей сестры в Украине. Моя милая Доротея. Ну, я уже буду на корабле, который отвезет Антона и меня обратно в Брасов. Англия не для нас, если скорее видеть горные холмы Трансильвании. Но вернемся, я поставлю свечку в черной церкви за то, чтобы ты пережила эту страшную эпидемию. Я знаю, ты не одобришь мое решение, ты твердо намерена помогать нашим товарищам в Энде. Он пытается вернуться на родину и видеть, как начнется данная революция. Он мой муж, я не пойду. С тобой часто спорили. Хотела бы, чтобы я осталась с тобой и помогала в клинике. Но помни, если с тобой что-нибудь случится, попадешь в беду и тебе будет грозить опасность, я немедленно вернусь в Лондон. С Тоном или без него. Пожалуйста, вспоминай меня так же часто, как я буду вспоминать о тебе. Между. Прощай, твоя сестра Теодора. 1 октября, Лондон.
What do we have here, nurse?
Patient Raz Van Vasily. High fever running on 3 days. Complaints of dizziness, muscle aches, and head pain. Diagnosed with influenza.
Treatment?
Aspirin and salicin for the fever and discomfort. Liquids for dehydration, but he's having trouble keeping even water down.
Thank you, nurse. Anything else I should know?
He did lose consciousness this morning, but he's never had convulsions like these.
He's not convulsing, he's choking. He's not getting any air. Scalpel! Hand me that scalpel!
What can I do, Doctor?
I need to perform a tracheostomy. Short pipe. That rubber tube will do. We're going to cut a passage for air through the neck.
Yes, Doctor. He's breathing again, but he's coughing up blood.
Internal hemorrhaging. I need to make another incision into the chest cavity to drain the fluids from the lung. Prepare another tube.
A thoracostomy? Doctor, we've nothing to fight the infection. We need an aseptic environment.
Right then, Nurse Crane. What do you suggest we do?
I've no idea. I'm not the doctor.
Time is of the essence. We need to perform a thoracic drain.
Yes, Doctor. He's still bleeding, Doctor. I'm losing his pulse.
The drain must have punctured the intercostal artery. There's too much blood.
Are you all right, Doctor?
I can't see. Yes. I have this, nurse. Allow me to finish the procedure alone. I need the room.
I'd prefer to stay and see this through. This is my patient, Doctor. I have needle and thread for stitching the wound.
Good. The stitches are holding. How's he doing?
We're losing him. We've lost his pulse. He's dying, Doctor!
A dose of epinephrine, now.
Yes, Doctor.
Да, доктор из меня плохой. Я его убил.
We've lost the pulse. He's gone, Doctor.
Nurse, we did everything we could.
Truly? Everything you could? Is that how you'll report this in your log? Is this how the war went? Piling up one poor corpse beside the next?
This was not an influenza-induced seizure. I've never seen symptoms like these on the continent.
Neither have I. But the previous symptoms leading up to this attack were the same, indistinguishable from the epidemic.
No. There was something more vile in these reactions, something primitive.
There have been numerous reports of mental breakdowns caused by the fever that accompanies the flu itself, Doctor.
Yes, but I'd best take some samples of the blood for analysis.
I doubt you're here to test my bedside manners.
Оп. И что-то тут лежит.
It's locked, all right.
I suspect it was more than intuition alone that led you to us. So, how might I be of service, Dr. Reed?
I've come to put an end to this insufferable blackmailing, Dorothy.
Doctor, you think your warnings scare me? I've stolen and plied, blackmailed and lied, but what else am I to do? I'm all these people have.
So, the end justifies the means. Is that your defense?
I know you're kind, Doctor. Just another fine-heeled, silver-spooned gentleman who was given the world on a platter. You know nothing of poverty, nothing of the shame, the hunger, the loneliness.
Dr. Swansea is a sensible and honest man. He wouldn't have refused your friend's care at Pembroke.
It's easy for you to say, Doctor. These people cannot go to the police, nor to the hospital. They don't even speak English. They depend on me for everything.
But why Lady Ashbury? Why her, of all people?
She's pristine and proper, all right. But that she-wolf in sheep's clothing murders the poor for sport. I have her where she belongs, and I'll milk her for all she's got.
You've convinced me of the sincerity of your actions and their noble justifications. But all the same, blackmail is a crime, and it will stop, Nurse Crane.
So, are you going to turn me over to the authorities?
Listen very carefully, Dorothy. You will erase from your memory everything you pretend to know about Lady Ashbury and Pembroke Hospital.
Let that rich bitch off the hook over my dead
Nurse
body.
Crane, enough. Listen as if your life depended on every word. I know you've a generous heart who gives freely to those in need, but you shall walk away from the shadier street of your business.
I will never abandon...
Dorothy, the discussion has come to a close. Your clandestine activities in the Resistance are over. Let it go.
I'll let it go. Yes. All gone.
Есть новые горожане, которых можно убить. Район пострадает в результате ваших дней.
It's locked, all right.
Можно было вытащить.
Oh, this one stinks already. Don't like that, do ya? No! He's done for!
Так вот себя. твоего деда убили, что ли? Закрыто все. А вон, теперь-то его.
Hello, Mr. Petrescu.
Hello, Dr. Reed.
Его не тронули, да, значит? Так, нам нужно убежище. Это оно здесь что ли было? Надо создать все, что могу пока. Маленькая бутылка, портсигар. Че это я не увидел тогда в прошлый раз? Так, того. Мигрень, восстановление. Переутомление. Переутомление и бронхит. Что еще? Что ты будешь делать? Забыл сломать все. Леску. Почему состояние района тяжелый? Как его улучшить? Ну, тяжелый, потому что здесь они болеют все. А улучшить, наверное, ну и как я думаю, надо вот этих вот всех лечить. Вот, которые болеют. И утомление. Вот видишь, восстановление идет, когда типа отсыпаешься. Состояние здоровья повышается. Вот слева 79%. Я не могу единственное найти рецепт. Где они тут? Вот к мигрени, ну, то есть все, что связано с головой. Сейчас где-то пошел на это. Да, вот, да. Даже 2 метки стоят. В общем, всех, кто болен, надо лечить, помогать им. Ну и плюс они еще, если захочешь их сожрать, они дают больше опыта. Так, я заблудился совсем. Вот где-то здесь журналист должен быть. Это восстановление идет. Кто журналюб-то делается? Вот, при утомлении.
Good evening, Doctor. Can I help you? Do you need assistance? That would be nice of you, Doctor. Who knows what I may have caught you in my investigation.
If you persist in investigating the most pox-ridden boroughs of London, you must accept the risks.
Thank you, sir.
Goodbye, Mr. Darby.
Так, сейчас еще перевязку. Вылечим. Поспимся и посмотрим. Должен быть 79% должно подняться все. Убираем. Так, вспомнить бы, где он еще. Здесь малой живет. Что я забыл даже куда идти.
I should never have taken up my father's business.
А вот здесь это.
Hello, Mr. Petrescu.
Hello, Doctor. Yes?
Do you need some help?
I am very tired.
Well, I think you do. Take this, and you'll feel better.
Free drugs from an English doctor.
Goodbye, Mr. Petrescu.
Так, они все на восстановлении. Сейчас найдем убежище еще. Туда входи в портал. А вот счет этой дамочки. И по идее район должен излечиться. Не совсем уж прям полностью, но должен. Где-то кровать тут должна быть. Так, смотрим. И 79%. Раз еще подкачаем. Выносливость обязательно. Здоровье. Так, наука. Вояж врача. Патроны. Где гипноз качать? Вот это я, кстати, вообще так и не понял. Создаете вихрь теней у ног цели, тени оживают, прерывая действие одного из врагов огромного урона. Так. Усы. Соответственно. Усы. Или нет, надо. Побольше, запас надо. Запас. Вот как раз объем. Ждал патрон еще каких-то. Опа, 73. А почему? За последние несколько недель без вести пропали десятки людей. Свидетели выстраиваются в очередь, чтобы сообщить полиции о таинственных исчезновениях. Подобное происходит по всей стране. На последние 24 часа подавляющее большинство обращений поступило в участок одного района лондонского чемпионата. Презираемый, ненавидимый всеми инциденты вновь оставлен на произвол судьбы. Несмотря на показательное бездействие властей, многочисленные местные жители все же доложили в ближайший полицейский участок о необъяснимых исчезновениях своих родственников и соседей. Что случилось со всеми пропавшими? Где они? Единственное, что их связывает, тяжелое состояние здоровья и нужда в медицинской помощи. До недавнего времени местные получали ее в секретные амбулатории. Вот почему плохо стало. Из-за моих действий я сказал этой медсестре, чтобы она обо всем забыла. Если бы я ее пощадил, тогда, возможно, район и улучшился бы. А теперь же она закрылась, а ее хозяева давно не дают о себе знать. Шли ли исчезнувшие в другую, более тщательно скрытую лечебницу? Может быть, их тайно перевезли в официальную больницу? Рано или поздно комитету здравоохранения при совете Лондонского графства придется ответить на эти вопросы. Да, это потому что вот это я сказал. Типа, забудь, не занимайся больше всем этим. И она вообще пропала. Судьбе. Здесь нормально, здесь 98, здесь даже на 1% повысился. 99. Здесь отлично все. Здесь стабильно. Короче, и от действий тоже зависит. Состояние здоровья. Ко мне не все относятся враждебно, да? Вот как-то так. Даже не подумав, загипнотизировал ее. Так, забрать Самуэля с кладбища. У нас еще какие там расследования. Человека, который умеет читать шрифт Аля. Так вот. Правой стороне церкви, да? Еще, наверное, 2 расследования. Ничем не болеет. Ему стало лучше. Большой букет, в котором спрятан полный бесплатный досмотр. Окей, а где это у нас она камельная? Ладно.
Hello again, miss. Melia, I know you work for Dorothy Crane. Please tell me about her secret dispensary. A stubborn and mute comrade. Nurse Crane and Darius Petrescu have been clever.
Ни в какую не хочется. 5000 опыта дает.
Very well. Goodbye then. Hello again, miss.
Мне не она нужна.
Very well.
Большой букет. Нет, не хочет она ничего говорить нам.
Stupid beast!
Что такое? Крестом, что ли, своим? Смотри, какой. Да это не перезаряжай.
This man stunned me with his faith. His crucifix. This is not good news.
Закрыто. Закрыто. Так, а куда эта дорожка? Нам не надо. Пусть они там бродят. Нужен век. Умеет читать. Сколько Как так-то? Что на меня? Вот этот поворот меня достал. Все время ловит. Все, соответственно. Как они меня разобрали-то, а? Блин, отвлекли меня не вовремя.
Lead spotted! Watch out!
Так, а где ваш этот приезд-то? Все. Раз что ли появляется только. Без него будет полегче уже. Они только количеством берут. Так, когда 1 на 1, меня с ним. Что, живой, что ли? Неизвестный дядька. Что я у него взял? А, я здесь как раз, наверное, проследовать. Вверх дном просто перевернут. Ничего нет.
Hello, sir. Sorry to disturb you at this hour. I'm a doctor inquiring about the epidemic. May I come in?
A doctor, you say? No, thank you.
All right. I shan't insist.
Хорошо. Третий уровень гипноза у него. Пойдем забирать с кладбища. Теперь хочу прыгнуть. Сколько у него откат? 2 минуты. Я хочу все-таки наверх попасть. Что есть? А, это убежит. Так я был здесь в этом. Чего же? Я не был. Где он?
I can't believe I'm doing this.
Слабая сыворотка крови. Как нам туда попасть? Показывает где-то внизу. Что-то мне подсказывает, что я не доберусь. Придется обходить. Это вот точно никакая не подземная, это обычная клумба. Печаль, здесь мы не пойдем. Назад топать. Через этот переулок пойти я тут не был. 15. Там хочешь найти? Быстрее. Забрались. Что же все в спину? Не вижу я вас. Да получай. Жалься. Блин, за них всего лишь по 10 опыта дают.
This is despicable.
Это что еще? Это бронежилет. Спина. Просветилось так. В ту сторону там плохо. Темы не спалят? Спалили. Ну и шарф. Какой сувенир. Так. Да. А шерстяной шарф тут. А, вот. Так, ну что, нам обратно, что ли? Произошло неизвестность. Ух ты, первый раз такой. Так, ну ладно, обойдем. Еще кружочек сделаем. Разберемся с этим шарфом.
Not a good place for a stroll. Easy does it.
Какой же он меткий. Кому ты там стреляешь? Так. Так, получается... Они не дальше, не дальше. Кому же этот рецепт можно купить? Головной боли. Так, все, да, теперь поднимаемся на мост. У нас дверь должна быть открыта.
It's locked.
Я ее и не открыл. Так, сначала с шарфиком с этим разберемся.
Good evening, Mr. Petrescu. What are you doing here?
I could ask you the exact same question, Mr. Doctor. Now leave me alone.
What do you plan to do now that Nurse Crane is gone?
I'm not sure. Strange men came to see me after Dorothea's death, with strange weapons and very odd stories.
You believe them? Aren't you too old to hold a weapon or listen to scary stories?
Yes, I am old and alone and will die soon, but if these stories are true, maybe I have found myself another cause.
What kind of story?
Stories all Romanian children know. It was as if I was home again. Vampires, Mr. Doctor. Vampires.
Are you living on the streets, Mr. Petrescu?
And why not? Those who believe they'll be safe behind walls are blind.
What about your house?
My house is always open to any poor soul needing a roof. All my work here is lost now that Dorothea is gone, thanks to you.
Yeah, why are you so aggressive?
I remember the night you came here and convinced me to open my door to you, sir. I'd like to punch you right on your...
Goodbye, Mr. Petrescu.
As long as you have the money.
Так, где там у нас? Кукушка.
Maybe it's time to see if this Christina is still working nearby.
Joe, please, I fancy buying something, sir?
Right then. Show me what you have. Good evening, Christina.
Change your mind.
Could this be the scarf you lost, Miss Popper?
It is much more than a scarf to me. It is the only thing that connects me to my family and my country. Thank you so much.
Подсказка не сработала. Еще минус подсказка.
Goodbye, miss. Take care.
Так, теперь мимо опять торговца направо и налево. Торговцы. Право. Налево. Правильно же? Бегающий скаль. Бродячий скаль, бродячий скаль. Куда он делся? Как-нибудь сагрить его можно? Дневники. Я сбил тебя. О, она 24-й. Так. Я даже и не знаю, что взять-то лучше. Вот, стань. Да, нифига меня сожрала. Так, не надо на открытую местность. Ну. Ау. Да почему все равно нажимается? Фу-фу-фу. О, да. Лак какой-то прошел еще, блин. Ладно, последний разок, если не получится, то все. Ну, хоть расследование завершено-то. Шарф. Где-то надо крови набрать. Ну почему не хочется там под крышей жить? Потому что она там ходит. Кстати говоря, о крови. Там вроде как шприцы есть. Да, один шприц есть. Поднимается. Так, маленький ключик. И он, скорее всего, да. Талонный досмотр. Информация. Талон на бесплатное медицинское обследование с текстом. Воду там вообще. Так, это кладбище, а это нужен третий, да, у нас. Гипноз. Кладбище у нас вот. Зайти. Ну, пойдем сдадим квест. Качаемся. Ты-то откуда взялся-то? Качаемся и все.
This elixir will give you faith that...
Так. Прямо налево.
Good evening, Mr.
Surely you are.
Tell me everything you know about Camellia, the mute florist.
I do not believe in the afterlife, Doctor. But I'm almost convinced Camellia is an angel. She volunteered to give out our medical leaflets.
Who is she, really? Do you know where she's from?
She's not from around here, that's all we know. Camellia is not even her name. It's her favorite flower.
You say she has no close family?
Well, there's that awful poet who constantly follows her around like a lost puppy. A good man for sure, but a very poor writer.
Are you not worried for her safety?
She is as brave as she is tough, and clever too. If only I had met her when I was younger.
Are you in love with Camellia, Mr. Petrescu?
Don't be stupid. If I had met her when I was younger, we could have won our revolution.
I heard what happened to Nurse Crane.
Everything was going well.
I regret...
So you put an end to the opera?
You seem to have a lot on your chest.
I heard you are a famous surgeon.
I didn't use drugs or medical trickery, Mr. Petrescu. All I did was talk to Nurse Crane. I promise you.
But what happened to her then?
Вот так вот.
Goodbye, Mr. Petrescu.
Блин, это да, это была такая ошибка. Надо было оставить ее. Ни очков опыта за нее не получил. Нормально. Район испортил.
Human blood. Whoever left these marks did so deliberately.
Kill it, boy!
Опа!
Burn it, boys!
Так, вампирским укусом убил. Вот сволочи, засаду еще устроили. Хорошо стоят. Кто там?
Please, sir. Can't let you through.
Зачем я его только спасал? Ладно. хотел сделать больнички. Надо создать квест. Да. О, что за лаги пошли?
I would ask you to avert your eyes, sir. Or did you not know it was rude to stare?
I knew it.
Speak up, Dr. Reed. I like a man who speaks his mind.
Блин, что за лаги-то? О.
You killed him. He trusted you.
Почему опять лагает?
And you killed him.
Spare me your sarcasm, Jonathan. You are but newly born in this world.
No need to apologize, my lady. I know exactly what you endure.
The situation is somewhat awkward nonetheless. I have not been observed sustaining myself for many decades. I have to say I'm a trifle embarrassed.
Anyway, I have concluded my inquiries concerning your blackmailer.
I see. Please excuse my agitated state. Under normal circumstances, I wouldn't let anyone see me in this condition.
The case is closed, your ladyship. The person who took advantage of you has, shall we say, seen the error of her ways.
So who was it?
My lady, the blackmailer was dealt with using the utmost discretion. The culprit's identity is of no relevance.
Thank you, Jonathan. That is exactly what I needed from you. You have proven your loyalty, so, as a friend, please accept this small token of my appreciation.
Thank you, my lady.
If you have an inclination to learn more about vampires or your current situation, I will be glad to aid you in your quest for knowledge.
I bid you farewell. I must quickly analyze the blood I took from Nurse Crane's patient.
Yes, Jonathan?
May I ask you some questions?
Нормально, все непонятно.
Please do. I have promised to answer you.
I bid you farewell.
Что ж, всем спасибо, кто смотрел. Пока-пока.